Okay, guess what? Today I am making gluten-free tortillas. And I actually have a friend who was asking if I had a gluten-free tortilla recipe, and I have a couple made. Like I have one that I have made a lot that you fry up on the stove, and I have another one that you make and you make it in a tortilla press. I made that, kind of concocted that recipe with one of my friends who always makes her tortillas in a tortilla press. But today I've made this recipe once. It turned out really good. The tortillas were a little bit on the thicker side, but it was like kind of like almost naan, how do you say that? But they were so good. Everybody loved them. And so I'm just going to show you how I made those and make them again. And yeah, if you try them, let me know how they work for you. Here's my chicken scratch recipe I put down there. Those are the ratios I'm going to do, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, what I'm looking for here is the dough to come together and not be super sticky to me. And that looks pretty good because when we roll it out, we're gonna roll it out and like I cut open a Ziploc bag and like roll it out between that. And you don't want it so sticky that you can't peel it off of there. And I prefer to not use flour, but sometimes you have to. But that makes a mess when you're frying them up or, cooking them up because the flour burns. So, but I don't want them to be too dry either. I want them to be flexible. So I think that this actually looks really good. I think. You want to use really hot water. If you've ever made corn tortillas with masa, you use like hot water for that. But see, I can manhandle it a little, but you don't want to dig your fingers in too much. So I'm just going to let this sit and cool for a minute and get my cast iron pan hot so we can cook them. So when you're making gluten-free tortillas, you need something to like roll your stuff out in, and this is Ziploc bag that I just cut the edges, and then I'm going to put my tortilla in, fold it over, and then I just roll it out here. And I just save these and rewash them, and I've had, this is a new one because somebody lost my old one, but I think I had one for probably 5 years. So it's a useful tool when you're making gluten-free tortillas. Bonus tip while we're making tortillas, if you are somebody who has a lot of bikes and scooters and stuff like that in your garage, Abby saw this on a video and she just totally created this in our garage. It's smaller, so we have to work with what we got. But a mom like taped off a boundary for the bikes and everything, and then said, so your littles can know where to put things, and said if they're not there at the end of the day inside the box, then you're going to lose them. I don't think indefinitely, right? Not indefinitely? Okay. So that's a really good idea. We're gonna try it. Maybe I'll let you know how that goes. So I have the tortilla dough ready. It's cooled off. I'm going to show you how I roll these up, roll it out, and I think that my cast iron is ready. So sometimes you do this and you don't use oil. It was recommended in this recipe to use some oil. I normally use coconut, but I'm using avocado today. So I'll probably put a little bit of that in the pan because these turned out really nice last time when I did that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of oil to the pan. It's already starting to smoke a little bit. Maybe because it's cast iron, that's more helpful. So let it cook on one side for like 30 seconds to a minute. Kind of, you can judge on how it looks. You don't want it to be cooked too much because then they get too dry and not as flexible. So I'm going to flip this. It's not very brown on this side. But I've noticed with gluten-free tortillas, I don't want them to be super brown. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this over again. Otto's having a good time. Oh my, having his way with water bottles. So if you flip them over a third time, they will start to kind of puff up more. That's the secret to corn tortillas. Did you pinch your finger? Oh no. Okay, hold on. Okay, crisis averted. Yeah. So, there's our tortilla. Doing this one-handed now. Hold on, we're gonna put the tortilla in here. Ooh, sorry if we're a little shaky now. So, like to stack them because the heat helps soften them, make them more pliable. I would say these ones aren't quite as pliable. So I'm going to put this on the pan now. Okay, I'm going to flip it. So if you cook it on the first side, you flip it over, cook it on the other side, which is what we're doing now for like 20 seconds. If you flip it over again, that is how you get like the pockets in it. So yeah, it makes it a little bit more fluffy and kind of like a pita bread where you have the hole. I sometimes could get that. So I'm going to flip it back and we'll see. I don't know if you can get this on camera or not, but I'm going to give it a go. And if you don't start to see them start to puff up, if you kind of run your tell, but I don't know if you're catching it on camera. They're not super big pockets, but you can kind of see it just, it's just fluffing up. And that helps it to be more soft and flexible. You can even flip it over again if you want to, but just don't overcook it too much. All right, that's our last tortilla. Okay, when they first come off, they're a little bit more stiff, but if you break into the middle here, you get, oh, they're so hot, a nice, flexible tortilla. They're a little bit more thick because they are whole grain, but they're really good. I think it works just great for a tortilla. I don't miss store-bought tortillas at all, and they taste way better than store-bought gluten-free tortillas, which are pretty much nasty. So I hope you like this recipe. Okay, thanks for joining me for the afternoon making some tortillas. I hope that this recipe blesses you. It gives you another option if you have to eat gluten-free, and you also find it delicious and wholesome and healthy. Okay, I'll see you next time.